Hey everybody, I'm back from Comic-Con. I'm sure you can hear the gravelies in my voice. I talked and talked and talked and talked. Oh my gosh, lots of fun was had. Got to see a ton of people, a lot of publishers, a lot of creators. Very exciting time, but I'm very happy to be back in the store so I can actually give you guys some good reviews for this week's books. We didn't skip anything. And I'm telling you that even though it looks like Marvel and DC have smaller releases this week, I think they wanted to focus in on some very specific stuff they were putting out. But it's kind of like an indie strong week. So my indie friends will be really happy this week. If you give us some thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, ring the bell on Facebook so you can get notified. Do some sharing today and see us back right here. And we'll get to reviewing. Hi everybody, it's Miss Jen. You're here on The Experience, and this is Minute to Skim It, where I'm going to go through the books for this week, but make it as little to no spoilery as possible. Do remember that we do have a couple of cool groups that are associated with The Experience. There's an Experience community page in which we just talk about whatever you want to. It's not a sales page. All you're going to see there is people talking about what they're collecting and what they love. Or you can do my page, which is What's in the Box chat, and that is a little bit some of the stuff that made it through some shows, but a lot also we're talking about things. I think I've put up in one or the other of those groups what made you excited about Comic-Con, what news did you hear out of Comic-Con, although you can certainly start it in the comments here. We want to really have, the community that you guys feel when you come on shows. We want you to have another place to go and kind of like show off your shelfies, talk about what you're excited about that you read, although please don't go on the day of a release for a comic book and tell spoilery things. It's not cool. Remember, we're here for each other and to support each other. We love doing that. All right, there are some cool books out this week. Let's get to reviewing. All right, Black Star's out of Titan Comics. I am back. I made it back. This is a very interesting book. I believe, like everything in Titan, it's tied to something probably in the video game world. So maybe that would help me to know a little bit more. But I'll tell you, the art in here is really, really gorgeous. It is essentially what you see there on the cover. It's a little bit out of time, like a story that's out of time, follows kind of like a jump around in time, which is really cool. See if I can get you guys an idea. So if I can explain what in the world's going on here, it focuses kind of in on this fellow who appears to be like a doctor, but not necessarily from our era. It shows him taking care of somebody who is not really on his side, kind of like when you try to heal your enemy. And he does make some good explanations about why he's doing such things. And it seems very like that's the focus of the book, but then it gets really wide in its storytelling. So a double whammy. You like this and Lana on Smallville's part of this one? Oh, really? Let's see, what do I know? So Krug did stuff in this one. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. But it's neat. He's like he's doing his thing, and then does he travel in a blue box? No, but there is like an element of feels like time travel or dimension travel, because something happens to him, and then when he wakes up, he sees like these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that seem to not be from the same time period. So think native peoples, a couple of people, and then like someone that looks like they're from um like the time of like Bridgerton maybe. It's such a cool story, and it's not super clear about what is going on, and I like that because it makes me believe that they're just setting us up here for what's coming next. So not not quite science fiction, although a little bit science fictiony. Not It's definitely, I would not call it like fantasy. It's like a really cool storytelling style. It's like if you like something that does not feel like something that exists, like when you're like, that's exactly like that, then this is a total book for you. I recommend it because it's so different. It's hard to find books that are like that nowadays. When you're like going, I can't describe it as a something else. Speed Racer. Okay. This book kind of feels like there's two stories in it. The front story, which is the one I read, which is mostly about the Rook, feels less like related to Speed Racer, which is fine, and more like a spy craft mixed with a little bit of police action. So this is mostly about this character who I believe he just goes by the Rook, but maybe that's his last name as a police guy. He makes a decision to try to infiltrate kind of like the hierarchy of racing, I guess, because he gets a car and has it all souped up so they can get kind of like in with this group. And the interesting thing about that is that there appears to be, he thinks he's like doing an awesome thing, but there's already somebody that's part of it who has also infiltrated the group. So it's one of those fun things where it's like he thinks he's doing something amazing, but it's screwing up someone else's thing. If you like ever watched any police procedurals that have some of those kind of things, like I've infiltrated a gang or I've infiltrated like someone that's selling drugs, whatever, that you work really, really hard to get in there, and then you realize that like there's already somebody that's been embedded in that group for years and years, and you're screwing it all up for them. The name's Speed Racer. So this one does involve cars, fast cars, and driving, and really great, great art. But if you're looking for a way to get into Speed Racer that doesn't just feel like a storyline in which they're getting together to do another race or about fixing cars, this one is probably for you. I really, really enjoyed this one. This one blew my mind. All right, this is the second issue for Midnight Man. If you haven't figured it out yet, all of Mark Spear's books are very meta, and they all connect. He's very, very good about giving you, like, as seen in, like, these characters, last time you saw them was here. Midnight Man is not fully human. He's, like, mechanical inside. But he's really, really, I don't know, he's, like, all blue. And he is less in this book than in the first one. This one, the meta part of everything is that there is an interaction that's happening between him and this like robotic kind of fellow that's like looks like a robot, but he is an assassin sent after the Midnight Man to kill him. But interspersed in between that storyline is a storyline about someone has died, and these two boys that you have seen from Monster number 5 or 6 or 7, one of those. It actually tells you which one. It's about them experiencing whoever that person dies. You don't actually get to see. But Also, them in line for a autograph signing with Mark Spears is supposed to be on the inside. So that's the really meta part, is that they're standing in line with a bunch of people that are dressed up as the Midnight Man. And there's also a guy in line who is like carrying around a big box of books. And the way he says he gets the big box of books kind of makes you hate him. Actually, it's not kind of. It will make you hate him a lot, because where he gets the books is tied to the person that died. And he's basically openly admitting in line that he doesn't care anything about Mark Spears. Think Mark Spears is over, but he can make a lot of money on his books. So it's like so self-aware about like that people are buying Mark Spears merchandise to flip for money. But I'm hoping that people are reading these books because they're really brilliant. The art is really, I mean, it is all Mark Spears interior art. He's writing all these things. So it's, all from his head. It's all great. But anyway, this has got what's in the box moment that you are not ready for. This is, you're not ready for this. This gets real adult. Real adult, like hits you in the guts adult. So it lets you remember that he's writing monster books, not for the kiddos, and even though there's kiddos in it. The Patron. Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay. I don't want to spoil this too much, but I have to give you the hook for it. I'm sure the hook's in the hook parts that they give you for books anyway. So Christian Ward has set up a really crazy premise here in which the story involves a couple artists who are struggling artists, right? They're making their art but haven't made it. The first one gets introduced fairly quickly in relation to the patron. It's this guy, you can actually see him on the front here, who shows up and says, hey, I have a way to get everybody to really love your art. And it's really gonna, it's like gonna fly off the shelves, and all you have to do is sign on the dotted line, right? Just think of it as making a deal with the devil, because that's kind of like, he's not the devil as far as I know, but that's the role he's playing here. The main part of the story is his interaction with a different artist than the one that's introduced at the beginning. And you realize just how bad this guy is and how he makes the art valuable. You can probably figure that out if you think real hard. But then there's a big twist at the end of the book where you think, okay, well, the twist is that he's the bad guy. Not a good guy, doesn't have anything. He's not really trying to help these artists at all. But wait until you read the last couple of pages of this book. It reads, when you get a comic book that you're just like, some of them, you're just like, I'm just making it through it. It feels like I'm trying to figure it out. It's a lot of work. And then there's other books where you're like, when you just kind of like eat it like good food. I say that with novels all the time. I was just like, I ate it like it was a good meal. This one feels like that, where it's really great, draws you through every single page. The art is exactly what you see here on the front. It's amazing. This one probably is my favorite of the week. I didn't really think it through this week, but I think now that I'm talking about it, I'm pretty sure that this is the one that I'm going to think about really hard until the next issue comes out. I'll remember what is in this book, despite having read 20 books this week. This is the one I'll probably be like hungry for the next issue for. All right. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am 100% crazy about Valiant. I haven't been in touch with it as much for the last couple of years. I will just admit that I've kind of wandered away from it. I loved it during the era when Dinesh owned it. And then it got sold to DMG, which is a big old company out of China, which is great. That's why we ended up with Movie. And then they don't own it anymore, and it is getting published through Alien, which they do a great job. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just easily distracted by other stuff. But the characters within the Valiant universe, I am crazy about. If you ever want to talk to somebody that knows way more than I know about all things Valiant, Jay and all those guys, they know everything. I've never met a more devoted fan group than those guys. Yeah, Bloodshot was the last flick you saw before the lockdowns. Fun fact, I actually saw Bloodshot in the middle of the night, like from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. in Dinesh's hotel room. We were at a big industry thing, and he invited retailers up to watch it off of his. He had the pre-finished stuff on his laptop. So I got to see it about 6 months before the movie came out. So I didn't get to hear it with all of its really good sound and all that stuff. But yeah, I was kind of low-key pissed off that the pandemic messed up what was going to be. Like, I think a lot of people didn't like that movie, but they probably saw it on their little screen at home and didn't get to feel it with, like, some of those big, like, explosion hits, especially the one at the very end where he just drops the bit. Hurts your chest. They're so loud. And if you think really hard about that film, you will realize that you never know what's real. Because the very first scene that you see in that film is the one that they bring him into as his first construct. And he goes back to that over and over again. So if you think about it in those terms, that, like, do we even know what's real for him? So anyway, if you don't know anything about Bloodshot's a story about a man named Ray who gets pulled into an organization that basically fills his body with nanites, and he cannot be killed. He can get blown into smithereens, and they just all put him back together again, however painful that might be. But they kind of drive him like a bus, so they can kind of like download things into his brain and make him do things that he doesn't want to do. And so it's always been a crazy, sad story for him because he wants to have kind of a normal life, but it's difficult for him. And then you have over on the other side, you've got the cool Street Fighter universe. The thing I learned about today is that Cammy is kind of like related to M. Bison and has some of M. Bison's memories and those kinds of things, and maybe some skill sets. And also, I think I could never fight in that outfit because it looks painful. I'm just going to say that out loud, but she looks really good. And the fight between these two makes a lot of sense. They do a really great job of writing this kind of like, sometimes when you just cross things over, you're like, well, why? That doesn't really make any sense. They're just going to like make an excuse for a fight. But this actually is pretty great. And then the backup story in here that kind of introduces the next round has Ninjak, and I can't remember who Ninjak fights. Somebody that looks like they just like can't possibly make those kinds of shapes of their body. But I'm weak in my Street Fighter knowledge, y'all. Dollism. Yeah, he looks like a... Anyway. So this is fun. Great for people that like video games. Or either any of these characters, their universes. It's not it's not what we would call trash. It's great, good stuff. It's not on the same par as some of these other really heady things that are out this week, but great fun. And they're not hard to look at. We'll just say they're not hard to look at. Ninjak is a great comic for Batman fans because the main character, Colin King, he is essentially Batman. Rich guy, but also has, ninja skills, exactly like Batman. I don't think he was raised by the same guy, though. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I miss getting to see William Catt at the booth at Comic-Con, but I had already seen him at the Comics Pro meeting. Lovely gentleman. I learned that he is in a jazz band and is really lovely person. Great human being. Those things you're like, I don't want to meet somebody like this because it's going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst. He's going to be mean. He's going to be a curmudgeon person. Nope. Lovely gentleman. And I'm sure hero for life for doing this. It's cool because one of the main players in AMP wrote this one, Don Hanfield, and he's such a great writer. This one introduces, so I will say, if you have never seen The Greatest American Hero, go back and watch it. It probably does not age well because it's really ridiculous. But it is about literally this buffoonery guy with blonde hair that is super afroed who finds a super suit and immediately loses the instruction manual. That can't. Why would an alien suit come with an instruction manual? I don't know, but it did, and he loses it. So most of the time in this TV show, it's about him like trying to take off flying, and he just falls on his face. And so it's him, despite the fact that he is really not good at what he does, he has the heart to do what he does. He's never going to give up, and he keeps trying. So it's about him just being a good guy. So insurance purposes, our Lord. So in this one, it actually presents him as an older gentleman. He shows up older. And the main character appears to be who you find out in the first couple pages is his son. So his son you meet because he's at, I think he's at Goodwill, hunting down things to flip. And the way he flips them is he goes to antique shows, like outside flea market antique place shows, and tells people that the objects that he's selling are way more important than they are. So imagine telling somebody that the golf club that you have, they have to pay $50 for because Tiger Woods once held it. That kind of stuff. So he's not like a real moral person, we'll say, but he's making his way in this world somehow. So into that world steps in this older gentleman who, when he figures out that it's his dad, he immediately starts making fun of him. So this is a really good start for it's not his son just finding the suit and donning the suit or something like that. That's not the way this happens, even though I kind of thought that was the easiest layup for the book. That's not the way they're going to go. This rock will be your best friend. That's right. Just put some googie eyes on it. Did anyone else have pet rocks when they were growing up? Anyone old enough to have had a pet rock? I hope you did. Especially with the little cardboard box with the air holes in it so it can breathe. Dig them in. Got to have those. All right. So it is a wonderful, nostalgic book. A great start for another round of good storytelling and great art.
Does the show hold up? No.
No.
It doesn't, but you want to talk about just a feel good, feels like it's wrapping you up in a warm hug. Here comes your childhood back. I still watch the show, folks. This book was so good. I cannot wait to get my copy in. I got the free comic book day one.
Yes.
I read it cover to cover 5 or 6 times already. I have my cover coming in. I'm not usually anything other than an A cover, but there is a cover for this book I had to get. And Miss Jen might know which one that is. I'll show that off sometime soon.
Does it have some dude holding a car up?
It sure does.
Do you know that there's an error on that and they're not going to be going to you?
Ooh.
Oh. They just sent a message out that there's a big error on that book. So they want us to take him off and destroy him. So if you can get one of those with a big error on it, then you're going to have something cool.
But pick up this book, folks, for real. It's so good. It's so good.
You know what feels really kind of awkward? Last year, not this year, I was the moderator for their panel in which they announced this book. And I said, you guys remember The Greatest American Hero when I started singing the song. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. That song. And nobody joined me. And I was like, what is wrong with y'all?
I never thought I could feel so free. Yes.
Flying away on a wish and a prayer.
Who could it be?
Believe it or not, it's just me.
Greatest theme song of a TV show of all time.
Probably so. All right. This one's got some cool twists in it. It's so funny to me. I guess that I've never finished Craven's Last Hunt or understood that he dies in that book. Don't out me as not a real nerd. I thought I understood what happened in that book. But this premise is that he does not get killed. But instead, he, how do I explain Craven? He is not dead. He actually, there's two versions of the black suit that occur. Pete dies instead, and instead Craven melds with the suit. So it actually has some other kind of wonderful twists in it that kind of like give Craven a heart. Like he does stuff that is kind of like stuff you don't expect from him. So this is a neat what if about it, and a good thing to hand off to somebody that wants to understand a little bit symbiote action, the alien suit, the who's Craven, all those kinds of things. Kind of a fun little one shot for them. Does the book explain how the greatest American heroine plays into this? Not mentioned. Not mentioned. So to answer everyone's questions about the book, since the email just came out, if a store sees the email, they will follow through with what's asked of them. If they don't see the email and it ends up in your box, then that's just the way it goes. They can't expect us to know things we don't know. But in the past, when it's been requested and I've seen it, then I will do what they say, because I know they're going to reissue it with the new cover. So. Rocket Raccoon, Rocket Rewind. This one's got a bunch of stories in it. I actually skipped the first story because it seemed fairly normal. There was another storyline as a second storyline that I really, really love. That's the one I read. And that one is called The Fight in the Raccoon. Nope, that's the one that was before. The Boom Shakalaka is what it's called, which is hilarious. So this is about Rocket and Groot deciding to go to this planet. I was going to see if I could find the name of the planet for you. The thing that they're after is this thing called the Pura Vida, which if they have it, then they get to have I think it's get to know the future. And he knows if he has it, then it's a real valuable object, right? But the thing is it's being held on a planet that they're very trusting, super trustworthy. Think like hippie, surfboard guys, kind of like the way that they talk. It's like, who's going to say if I could read any of their things that they actually say? Oh, no, I guess it's a very obvious why I thought it was surfboard dudes. He's on an electronic surfboard when they meet him. That's a way. So that's a really fun storyline. And then there is another character that's a character that you may not have ever seen. It is from old school. Think about a thief that might exist that has long ears. Animal thief that has long ears. You might be able to figure out who that is if you're an old school person like me. And then there's two other stories. These are just fun romps happening with Rocket Raccoon as a main character. This is not meant, I don't think, to tie into anything. This is a great one to just pick up and have fun with. Right, there are 3 books that are tied to the Queen in Black this week. I'm going to try real hard to keep these separate because they all touch each other. This one is very much the touchstone for the Hela and what is the guy's name? There is a god that kind of hangs around with her in the story stuff. I believe that's this one. Oh, please. Make sure I'm not giving you the wrong book for it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm glad I looked. This is different. Okay, so this is a book that focuses in on Hela's wife, Carnella. She's queen of the Norns. So it's about her. She knows that Hela is off doing her Queen in Black stuff. It also brings in Mephisto, which is going to be a very important character in the series. And kind of gives you the start for how Hela gets the black from Null, so that she becomes the queen in black. So this one this week might be the one to start with of the three. Or four, hold on. No, three that are part of this. So that's what that one's about. And then the Defenders of Light and Dark. This is literally a putting together of two teams, because what you find out is in the Queen of Black and in Defenders of Light and Dark is that Null, because he doesn't have that dark power anymore, has just decided, well, great, that's not a big deal. I'm going to take light instead. So he is like harnesses all of light and makes himself some light creatures that the way he describes them is they don't need anybody. That was the failing of the symbiote, is they needed somebody to be on to be able to be useful. And instead he's made himself these like big crystal angels, which is, they look really cool, the design. So this is the setup between, you have two teams that are being built. If you are a Beta Ray Bill fan, you will really be excited that he's a main character in these books. And it kind of like lines up the which team and who's attacking who, using what kind of like abilities. There is kind of a big twisty ending to the end of this. There's some real, there's going to be people that are not going to make it out of this stuff. So that one's good. I don't know about you guys. I know it's tough sometimes when they do these big events, right? Where you want to just read the main storyline, and that's totally cool. That is a good way to go about comic books. If you don't want to like spend a ton of money and you want to be more careful about what you're buying. But I'm hope that my show is helpful to you, that fills in some blanks if that is you. If you're me, you're going to read everything because it definitely gives you some like insight into the corners of the universe, which is like when I was reading DCKO, there was a bunch of stuff that happened that was outside the main story arc that helped me understand the why, when, hows of everything. And that's the way this is feeling. But I totally get it, y'all. It's a lot to buy everything that's really cool every week because there's a lot of really cool things every week. So just know, if you don't want to buy this cool one, even though it's Beta Ray Bill goodness, then I get it. All right. This is the main Queen in Black. Her upon the throne. I'm going to open it up so I make sure I can hit the story punches in this one. Sorry if my throat's getting low. This one is quite literally the book where it's going to show you him harnessing the light and forming his new army. It'll be very helpful to you to understand all that stuff. And it also has a lot of, you get to see a bunch of characters that you're not 100% certain what they've been doing recently. Like, for example, there is a character here introduced as Captain Spider, also known as Toxin, and you get to find out who is in that symbiote if you didn't know already. And I'm not going to spoil that for you because that's really cool. It also has Agent Anti-Venom, which is Anti-Venom's always been the same person, so that is fine. There is a lot of conversation around Mary Jane as Venom, in which I know some of you guys are like about it, but just trust me. That's really cool. And then there's this cool character that has shown up that I don't know that we've ever seen before, and they called that character Captain Alliance. And that's a Skrull super soldier, a lot like Captain America. Doesn't look like Captain America, but that's a lot like. So, and then Beta Ray Bill, of course. So this is kind of like a setup for a team that has been gathered to fight against her. Also, big moves here with the Scarlet Witch. So don't miss that. There is a big reveal on the last page. Am I going to regale you with stories at 7 p.m.? I sure hope so. I will try, and I'm definitely going to have the books. So that's all the Queen of Black. There's just 3 this week, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, this was interesting because when I first started reading the book, I was like, maybe I misunderstood what this book is about because it really does start out with people, like humans, uh, human like spacefaring folk. As a matter of fact, who land on this planet and they have interaction with the Planet of the Apes first. So that's the big conflict. And then Predator shows up later in the book. So if you're reading the book and you're like, wait a minute, is this just a Planet of the Apes book? No, it's definitely a Predator Planet of the Apes book. It's I think it's kind of an interesting premise. The big to do here in this book is the trying to figure out the predator that they're experiencing, how that predator is choosing who he's going for, because it doesn't feel like he's just targeting a specific humans or apes or the gorillas or whatever. It feels like there's something else that he's trying to achieve that we don't really figure out in this first book. But great art. The Marvel crossing over of characters continues to be awesome, even though some of it you read, okay, another crossover. Like, especially I think when they did like Predator, Black Panther, I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. Until you learn that the Predator that's part of that is part of a three brother group in which he as a brother has lost a leg. And so he goes and he gets himself a vibranium leg. So it makes him super awesome. And so it makes all the sense in the book. And it makes you care about him, honestly, as a character. So, oh my word. Oh my word. Oh, okay. So fans of Junkyard Joe, do not miss this issue. Just don't miss it. It's so good. This I don't know if you realize in the last like issue or so, they've had lots of like soldiers that look like Junkyard, but they aren't him. But just bet you this is the pick of the week for many. I can't imagine that it is not. All right, I'm gonna look at it with my eyes because Lord knows I haven't had any sleep. All right. In this one specifically, they have captured Tarek. So he is being held. They've got his tungsten rods put in, so he doesn't have a way to protect himself. So this is not a good place for him. And then, kind of like separated from him, trying to figure out what's happened to him, are Junkyard Joe, and then the knight. I forgot his name. So he's just called the Nuclear Knight, right? Who rides the cool zebra. So it's basically them dealing with the whole like we need to figure all this out, and we need to have ourselves our very own thing, Junkyard Joe, to like be able to take him over. And then I think we get to see a brand new bad. I don't remember seeing this guy ever, but I think we get a brand new bad, or it's another bad that has been presented before, but has new powers or something. But yeah, I actually got to talk to Mr. Johns at Comic-Con and thank him for all of the crazy good stuff that we've got coming our way. He's a really, really nice guy. So I am happy that he's been very successful with this line of books. All right. This one might be the book that has the most buzz this week, though. I like how you chose that cover.
I had to. Best mashup I've seen on a cover in a long time.
Oh, yeah. It's really, really good. All right. So I think the moment that they announced this book, they just announced the name of it and that it was going to be much more gritty than the normal Godzilla book. I had a ton of people adding it to their pull box. That's when I know that the hype is really real and it's not just like a couple of people talking about it. It was a ton of people adding it to their pull boxes, even though we have a lot with already they're doing Godzilla in general. This is still Kaisei era. It's actually origin of Kaisei era Godzilla. If you like the kind of like more human grounded storytelling that you get from minus, is it -1, -0 that was the first movie? I can't remember because now they're going to do another one that I really like. Yeah, this is Horror of Godzilla. And there is a power, not really power, how am I going to explain this? There is something that happens with this Godzilla that I don't know that it's an intentional thing that happens to the humans that are near him, but it's all the horror idea that you've ever wanted. I don't want to mess this up for you guys because it's such an experience to see it on the page. Not for kids. This has got a very gruesome kind of like look to it, especially the back half of the book. So if you're on the fence about it and you like really like a lot of body horror, this is super body horror at the end. So just so you know. Okay, there are some really cool annual books that are out this week. This one might be the most important of them. It actually explains what happens post DCKO. Actually, it explains really what the decision making was that Superman had to do. So if you got lost at the end of the series and you're like, well, I don't know really what Superman did to win, because it looks like he loses and then he gets imbued with power and then he explodes and then all these other things. It will explain all those things, but also it explains like what's happening to him right now. Like he really does have tons of power, but it also means that one of the things he finds out about himself, and it doesn't ruin the story for you, but he's essentially immortal. Like he realizes that everyone that he knows and loves, he will eventually see die. So this is a little bit about him going on a journey to maybe fix that problem. He doesn't really like that. So this one is very important in the main storyline for Superman. It does tie in directly to the Superman book that's going on right now with the boys. So I would just say it's a not miss if you're an all-in person and like all the storyline that is going on. Can you hear all the teenagers out there? They're digging through our books. This is a great new thing. Love them. Okay. This one's the Night Vision special. This is a very interesting book. This one pairs together Lex and Batman in order to, it says to order to save reality. I don't know if they're going to save reality, but what's so cool about it is the amount of like dialogue between the two of these guys that they're just like, they find themselves. Is this the one where they all end up? Nope, it's the other one. Yeah, this is the one that has a character that I wasn't really familiar with before. The big bad here is a guy called Shoot Fire. You know, it's on every single page except for the one you're looking at. I swore I was going to remember it. Sapine. He's a super bad. He looks a little bit like the Batman Who Laughs. And I can't show you a picture of him because that would be a cheat and I can't do it. Somebody knows. Somebody knows. Nope, no one knows. Why in the world does it not share his name for like 5 pages here? This is great. Prometheus.
I just found it too.
It's Prometheus. He's a scary guy, man. I'm telling you right now. So they end up in this weird, twisted house together that feels a little bit like a Baba Yaga house. But anyway, this is a Prometheus is very important to the storyline, and then also the big bad that is the through big bad for DCKO shows up. No, it's not like Cyclosportia, although I do like that name. And then the next one is also an annual. There's a ton of, that's not an annual, that's a one-shot special, that last one. This one's another annual. This one's World Finest. I'm pretty sure you guys saw pictures of this all over the internet, and there's a reason. It's because it's awesome. The book is literally about Bruce and okay, I'm just going to stop right now because my brain's going to just like betray me all to hell. Bruce and Superman taking their dad characters to, they're supposed to be going on a fancy meal. They go to take them to a steakhouse. The name of the steakhouse is hilarious, and it does have one of those deals where if you eat a 72-ounce steak, then you can have it for free kind of thing, which is a bad idea. Don't ever take that up. You're going to die. You're going to have the meat sweats and wish you were dead. Take it from Kyle. Kyle's had meat sweats. It's the worst. So they're all at this place choosing their food, and then one by one they leave. And the problem is that they end up not being able to come back because the emergency that has happened is that the Flash has disappeared or been captured. But the deal is that the thing that they're trying to get out of essentially says that once you come into this room, you can't leave out by any door. The door you choose to go out will destroy that place, like all of Gotham or all of whatever, right? So one by one, everybody kind of shows up there, and they're like, no, don't come in here. Aww. So it's them kind of like trying to figure that out. Meanwhile, Alfred and Pa are not, they're no slouches. They've been through the war, and they know their stuff. So it is really about them being kind of the heroes, which is pretty spectacular. Hey, Kenneth. And then this one is not a book I thought I was going to enjoy, but it's hilarious. So this is Lobo and Batman together, completely fighting. So basically doing a full-on try to kill each other for the entirety of this book, I think. They do end up realizing that they have to work together, which is also kind of like, what is going on here? These two dudes don't make any sense together. But the main thing that happens here is there's something that they encounter, which is kind of this like weird alien creature that attaches to you. It makes you kind of like immediately takes you to like some kind of like idealistic fantasy of yourself. So like think the best possible dream you can have. And you get to see for sure, Halo Box, what happens to Batman when that happens. There's only one way out of the situation because you can't rip the thing off of you. It doesn't happen that way. And then the final act is since Lobo cannot die, there's a different kind of like, he doesn't look at this creature and think, oh no, this is the worst. He looks at it and says, this will be awesome. But the thing that like the last page shows you what when he finally gets to interact with this thing, the thing that he actually has as his dream or his whatever, it's going to make you spew milk out your nose. It's so funny. It's because most of the stuff he can do, right? He can already do and go and do a bunch of stuff. There's like, but the thing that he chooses, it's so funny. Okay. DC's Hot Girl Summer. I read like a story and a half out of here, but we're running out of time, so I will just tell you they're really good stories, a la Hot Girl and a bunch of other of the DC characters. There is a ton of them. It's a big, gigantic prestige format book. Just a good place to just have fun and think about summer activities. And then Nano. This one is so good, y'all. I can't even explain to you. My brain hurts so bad. It's by Matt Kent and Alexander Grant. It is about the two people on the front cover here, the girl with the white hair and then the dude with the kind of like short hair that's looking away from us. They are very specifically trained spies. They like have like a lot of abilities, and they are like people of action, right? But they get paired together. They're not a couple. They get paired together to infiltrate like a not a government organization. Think like a business organization, which they hypothesize like people that go there. They only accept men to go and do the program. Other like people can come into the company town that are women, but they don't do anything. They like teach school and that kind of stuff. And then the guys, you just never really know what they're doing because they disappear for like sometimes months. In this case, this guy is okay with doing it. She's less okay with this thing because it means that she doesn't get to do any of the stuff she's been trained for. She just has to like do normal teachery things and not like do an investigation. It's very important that she does not give herself away. This is also a big prestige format book. This one's a really cool unraveling of what the heck is going on, because the rumor about what happens there is that they shrink the guys down into tiny micro-sized people so that they can work on machines that have tiny parts. But you don't know for sure if that's what's going on here. You only see him kind of have visits with her every once in a while, in which he looks more haggard and messed up every single time. So it's about kind of like their interpersonal journey. Ate too much time. Oh, sorry. Oh no. I dropped things. Okay, now I did a couple ash cans. These were ones that were given to me at comics at San Diego Comic-Con, so I don't know if they've been out anywhere yet. This one is the one that has me most excited, Dinner Date. It is literally about a girl who is an Uber driver who is kind of like just most of the ash can is about her like putting up with the stupidest people ever coming into her car and asking her dumb questions and hitting on her and all the bad things you ever hear people that are Uber drivers say. Then she picks up this one girl who has a very heavy bag and puts it in her car and asks to be dropped off near a bridge. You can know that there's something going on here. And there is. You could probably suss it out by if you look really careful at this girl's mouth and the stuff on the couch. I'm really excited about that one. And then this other one is kind of crazy. This one is Prima Apparata. This one presents itself as a space odyssey in which the main characters look like they're training to be ballerinas, but that's not really what they're training for. They're really actually training to be pilots that have very specific skill sets. And it's just like The Long Walk. If you don't make the cut, they just space you. So this is like a really cool idea for a big space odyssey. I'm excited for this one. And it focuses in on two characters that look like they're going to make the cut. They're not really from the best of backgrounds, and that's what makes them cool. I did it. I did it. Please stay tuned. Or actually, first things first, you need to contact your local comic shop, please, and let them know about any of these books that you really want to have added to your pull box, including the stuff that I just showed you as ash cans. You can tell them that when they start doing FOCs for those, you would like to have them. Don't forget to watch the FOC show, Order Up. We always have really cool guests. Tonight, after my 2-hour show in which I'm selling things, the Aggressive Positivity has a very special guest, Trish Forster, who you know, Trish from her work on a great many things, including Stray Dogs and Feral. And we're trying to bring you guys the very best in information and guests. And those 2 shows for sure will get you the very best of all of them. So put us on your schedule. Every single week, those guys come on and bring cooler and cooler stuff. Even when one of the showrunners is gone, then someone else steps in to make sure it happens for you guys. So if you can, if you like me at all, please share this station with other people. Just mention it in passing in your socials. You will make our lives so much happier and richer because we have more friends that join us, right? We love it. All right, everybody. I will see you guys in 3 minutes. I'll see you guys later. Bye.